Dean.
Yeah, I'm gonna call the meeting to order. It's 7:01 PM.
Roll
One of the
call.
changes to the agenda now.
Yeah, so I just want to let you know for roll call, the only two that are missing is Frank and Tracy Berto tonight. So that means we have 5 members here. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5, 6 members, so only 5 can be seated.
Okay,
So your alternate is, don't leave, is Jason or Nick. One of them needs to sit out voting on this application.
okay.
I can sit on it.
Okay.
Yep.
Stay.
Let's
So the,
seat Nick as a regular member for the first time, I believe.
Yes.
Awesome.
okay, thank you. All right, so then the next thing, just really quickly, was we do have a change in the agenda that under extension request, that will be a yes. Okay?
Yeah.
All right,
Okay, the minutes from March 19th, 2024. Gonna
you need a motion to
just
approve them?
ask, we don't have to read them in, just ask for a motion for.
Just a
approval.
motion to
Do
approve.
I have a motion for approval? Nick,
I'll second.
Ella seconds, all in favor?
All
Aye.
Aye. Extensions or opposition?
Any
No.
abstain?
It was unanimous?
Unanimous.
Unanimous. Okay.
Communications?
Yes, communications, actually, Kathy, if you didn't mind, you might even want to chime in a little. We have a communications from the town of Preston that was received on May 15th. It's amendment to the town of Preston zoning regulations, which they're doing it, incorporating a temporary moratorium on short-term rentals. And so they're making the changes in the regulations that allow them to put a moratorium into effect until September 30th, 2024. Kathy, do you have any comments on that?
This is a second extension of the moratorium, which is not a big deal.
Do you have any questions or
No
not?
comments.
This referral?
What was the length of the extension? How long did you extend it? I don't know the original one.
Oh, it's a moratorium. So what we do is we just put a time period on, no one can submit short-term rental applications. We have short-term rental regulations,
Yeah.
but we want to modify them. So there's no time period for it.
Okay.
It has to be established by the commission.
And unless the commission has any that they want to put a referral back to Preston, we don't have to, we just receive it in unless you have very strong opinions on anything.
No.
And let me look, and then it's already passed by, but it came in after our last meeting, Wednesday, May 1st. Sprague was holding a public hearing concerning the protections for group homes and family childcare. This is something that our council did to change our regulations to address it, and then they had a referral to you. So they're doing those changes, or they did those changes that we already did. Okay,
Yep.
and that is it for correspondence,
Okay.
communications.
Communications.
Yep.
Move on to new business.
So you have an application, it's 146 West Town Street, site development plan 1054. It's a site plan approval for a change of use for the conversion of a restaurant to a storage rental facility. Application of Andrew Grant, property of Big Red LLC, assessors map 58, block 2, lot 30, zone general commercial. It's also in the special flood hazard area overlay. There is a representative
Yep.
on behalf of ACE that's here to discuss the application.
You want to go to him right away?
Yes,
Okay. Thomas Yakuri, you're up for Ace Hardware. Welcome.
Tom, can you hear us?
Muted or? Tom, if you can hear us, please unmute. There's no audio.
No audio.
He must have lost his audio.
Okay.
Tom, if you can
can't hear
hear
us,
us,
right?
he can hear us, probably just can't respond back. Can you call in or try this again? He might be the iPad Pro. I'm not sure who that is.
It's Chris.
That's Chris.
Oh, that's
I
Chris.
asked that already.
All right.
And I saw his
So
video come up.
Tom, do you want to just for a second go to change the order and go to the referral instead? Want to
Okay,
switch?
Tom, we're gonna switch and we're gonna go to business B, the referral.
Okay, so the referral is an ordinance from the city council. It's an ordinance appropriating $2,900,000 for costs of the planning, design, and construction of the utility bridge and water main improvement project in the town of Basra, authorizing the issuance of 2,900,000 revenue bonds to the city of Norwich secured solely by water revenue to meet said appropriation, and authorizing the city and Department of Public Utilities to enter into grant and loan agreements in a joint resolution with the state of Connecticut with respect here too. Again, this comes from the council. The ordinance is up, is right here.
Yeah.
If you hadn't had a chance to read it, but Chris LaRose is here if you want to have him just do a quick synopsis of it.
Yeah, Chris, could you go over that for us, please?
Happy to. The bridge we're talking about and where the water main crosses is a pure utility bridge right next to the bridge on Fitchville Road near Basra Town Hall. And they did bridge inspections roughly every 4 years since 2008. And at the joint of the bridge, there's significant salt and corrosion due to that salt coming down on the utility bridge, which is a utility-owned bridge. The inspections by DOT have sent us a required repair and rehabilitation notice to work on this bridge and get it repaired. The project details are, it's roughly 100-foot long steel utility bridge, and it supports a 30-inch cast iron main that transmits the water from Deep River to the city of Norwich. They're doing bridge abutment repairs now, and we need to do the steel bridge repairs. And then we're also going to seal all the pipe joints to make sure there's no future issues on the joints going across the bridge. The cost is $2,900,000, as Deanna said. It's for design, construction, and construction oversight and legal costs. And we are getting a grant loan agreement through the Department of Health under the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund, which is 20% grant and 80% loan. What we're looking for is an approval to bring this back to the city council. And on the June 17th meeting, I believe it is, we'll have the second reading and public hearing if you're in agreement that this is consistent with the commission and the city plan. And one of the reasons that it is, it's improving infrastructure that's needed for all the utility users in Norwich. And this is paid purely by ratepayers of the city of Norwich.
Thanks, Chris.
So what we're looking for the council is a recommendation. And so for the newer members, you either send a favorable or unfavorable recommendation to the council. I would recommend a favorable recommendation because, and these are the reasons, and you could just state those, is consistent with goal 2 of the Plan of Conservation Development Connect section, which relates to the quality of life through maintaining high level of municipal infrastructure. So that's what we're looking for, a motion for a favorable recommendation with those reasons.
Okay. First, anybody have any questions of Chris? Kathy or Ellen online, do you have any questions? Concerns?
No,
No,
Okay, and anybody here? Questions, concerns? No. Okay. Does anybody want to make a recommendation?
I'll make a recommendation that the council approve this ordinance for the reason Deanna said. And I think it is a positive thing for the city. We need to make sure our water supply is protected.
Second that.
Been seconded it?
Any discussion?
Yeah, any discussion? All in favor?
All right.
aye.
I
Believe that. Any abstentions? Believe that's unanimous, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So,
Very good.
Chris, you're all set. Thank
Right.
you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time this evening.
Very good.
So,
thank
Chairman,
you, Chris.
Vice Chairman, we can now go to the application. Now it looks like Tom, can you hear us now?
Tom, if you can hear us, you can unmute and take it away.
He was on before.
No,
There he
he's
is.
there. He just unmuted, I believe.
Okay.
There you go.
Yes, I'm here. Yeah, we submitted an application for rezoning. Hello, how are you tonight? Thanks for having us. Yes, we've submitted an application for rezoning a building on our Norwich property from a restaurant to a self-storage unit.
So, I can tell you.
Can you hear me
Chime in a
okay?
little, Tom. So, Tom, can I chime in?
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
so, do you have, I don't know if you have the site plan up or not, are you able to call that up, or we can call it up?
I don't have the site plan up. No.
We can call it
All
up.
right, we'll pull it up.
Engage hardware.
We left plenty of copies at the office as instructed.
Yep, so can you see, Tom, what do you have on the screen?
I haven't shared it yet.
Oh, hold on, it's not showing yet, hold on.
We're gonna share it in a second here.
Can you see it? Kathy can't see it, yes, now they
Kathy
can.
can see it.
So do you want to just quickly go over, Tom, this, if you didn't mind going over the site plan and describing a little bit and about the rain garden and things?
I'm not seeing,
We're having a hard time hearing you, Tom.
site plan.
Cutting out really bad.
Property behind the two gas. That was a restaurant.
Building up at the top.
Yep.
Just lose them.
Not sure. Would you like me to explain it a little?
Yeah, Deanna, can you just
Okay.
explain it?
Deanna's
Because
gonna
I
go
don't,
over it.
Okay, so the property at the little yellowish kind of building at the top, which is where Blazing Barbecue was, and they had a fire. They were a tenant there. Its own property is all owned with the Ace Hardware property there. And they have decided not to bring it back to being a restaurant. Blazing Barbecue is moving to a different location in the city, and they want to make it into a storage facility like the other ones they have on site. It's not an increase in the footprint, it's just a conversion, but because it is a site plan use, we had them come back in. And then we, from a drainage standpoint, we had them put in a rain garden. Our engineer, wanted that taken care of, in the parking lot there, but they weren't adding any more impervious surface or anything like that, but it is in the special flood hazard area. But this is actually an improvement there, so it doesn't kick in the special permit for that because we're actually going to make it a better situation than what it is currently. Any specific questions, Kathy, for you?
yes. So they're just converting the building
Yep,
from a restaurant
yep.
to a
Commercial
storage facility.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
why do they have to do any additional work? Because it's just a conversion. I mean,
But our zone, in the zoning regulations, the restaurant use is a zoning permit use. The storage, self-storage is a site plan use. So we had, because it's a higher level. you had
okay,
that in, Okay.
okay,
So, but
I
it's
get
not
that,
adding any square footage or anything like that.
Do not add
right,
it.
but why do they have to put in some additional drainage if they're not
I think
changing
that-
anything?
I think Brian could explain that better. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any comments because they worked with the engineer originally, about it, but it was, I think it says the feature will not change the existing draining power. However, it will allow cleaning and infiltration of a portion of the paved parking area. So I think that was why they just
Yeah,
wanted,
okay, I mean, I have no problem with it, I was just wondering why.
no,
that's-
I think it was
that's
just,
fine.
yeah.
And only that building, only the restaurant building.
And it's because there's so much pervious paving there. So, so much, vehicle pavement. So we wanted to have, some pervious surface that could drain. Because the whole site is paved in buildings. So that's why we added a little, bit of, drainage with that rain garden. So, I guess what I would say to you, I have a memo from Dan Deniska. He did the review on it. Dan is not here tonight. So there's not really any comments. It's pretty easy. MPU looked at it. They don't have issues. Zoning enforcement, Rich didn't have any issues with the application. Speak for that, right?
Yeah.
City engineer just was recommending that, rain garden. The commission can talk about, they want them to have any new landscaping or potted plants on the sidewalk in front of the building to enhance it. That's up to you if you would like to. We do have landscaping standards, but because the building's already there, it's kind of up to you. Proposed exterior lighting, if they're gonna add any, they know it has to be cut off. And then we have the standard conditions that were in number 4 of Dan's memo. And, which is basically filing the Mylar and the usual stuff there. And I think there's a bond, but it's a very small amount, $4,400. So it would be, if you were to make a approval, it is consistent with those chapters and the regulations 2.4, 5, and 7.5. And I would make it conditioned on number 4 of Dan's memo. But I have
Just one other question.
Sure.
So to put the rain garden in, they're going to cut out some of the bituminous, is that correct?
Yeah, Rich, can you blow it a little bit closer so Kathy can see it? It's right there. See, yeah, it's that little part right there. Install a rain garden.
And that gives them enough room.
Yeah, well, it's in the special, that area is near the
Yeah.
special flood inherited area.
Okay.
That-
And what is the building what are they gonna do to the building? Cause I think it's a concrete block building and I mean,
Nothing. I don't think they have any exterior changes to the
They're
building.
not gonna take out the service windows in the front or anything? Just gonna use
are they
that.
gonna paint
let me-
it?
Hold on, let me see let's see if we got what we have for drawing that Dan had me. And this is where Tom could possibly speak to it, because I don't see any architectural plans in here. And again, Dan did the review. I did not on this one, so I'm not looking if there's any. I just have a floor plan of the interior of how many units it looks like. It'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 storage units. And it doesn't look like any exterior elevation changes, but I'm sure they're going to. I mean,
Isn't it like yellow and red?
yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're not being specific of what they're going to do, but the structure itself isn't changing, but he didn't mention anything about the materials or what they're doing. Maybe Tom can answer that if Tom can hear us.
Tom's still there.
Yes, Tom. You really can't see all your people.
No, this is it.
No, Tom's
So
gone.
Tom is gone.
Yeah,
Tom is gone. Okay.
So Kathy, do you have any comments that you want it consistent with the way the other buildings look or anything like that? It's a site
Yeah,
plan.
I would like it.
We don't have a lot of
consistent.
criteria for site
I
plan.
know, but you know what? It can't stay with the way it is now. I mean, I don't know if anybody agrees with me, but I think it had like flames painted on it or
I'm sure
something.
they're not, I'm sure they're gonna make it like a storage, look like a storage building, probably, what you wanna say, make it consistent look with the existing storage facility
Yeah,
that they
yeah,
have.
existing. It should all be one color or, something that's, not look.
Okay, so
Make it not look like a
with the other
restaurant.
storage building colors.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Otherwise, so this is just, I'm looking for a motion on this. There's nothing else to add. There's no public hearing. It's, just conditions that Dan has in item 4 of his memo.
Side before, okay.
quick question.
Yeah,
Yep.
If they're putting 12 storage units in that building?
yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. They have they have 2 7x10s. They're very small. 2 7x10s, a 10x10, the 4 10x10s on one side, and the other side is a 7x10, a 7x14, and then 4 10x14. They're not very big.
So there's no outdoor access.
There it
to
is
them or
on the
anything.
board. You can see it.
But that's what the area is anyway, right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have the metal ones on the other
Yeah,
side of the
yeah.
front lawn.
What color are those? They're like a gray or something.
Yeah,
Aren't
they
they
have
really?
red.
Rusty
I think-
color, yeah.
It's gray or with red painted on it, I believe. I drive by there all the
All
time,
right.
but I think it's red and.
So just to make
gray.
it consistent with how those others
Right.
look. Okay,
Right.
so if you want to ask for a motion,
Anybody want to put a motion forward?
Can I make a motion?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion
Make a motion.
with the conditions of item 4,
with the conditions stated, yes.
thank you.
Can I add something to that?
Yep,
And the building painted or to match?
Yep.
Yep.
The exterior of it to match the existing buildings on site.
of the storage buildings, yep, got it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Second.
Okay,
I'll second.
and second?
Yeah.
Jim seconds it. Yep, any discussion? Online, in the room? No? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
It's unanimous.
It's
Good.
like unanimous.
All right. Let me look at my agenda here.
Old,
Okay, old business. We have no old
no
business.
old business.
I do have an extension request.
Yep.
For a subdivision extension request, which is for, I'll read it into the record. This is for subdivision 437, 145 Taffel Ockham Road, 432 Canterbury Turnpike, and 180 Lawler Lane. They've already, the applicant has already received the first extension request. They're allowed the original subdivision and 2 extensions. So they're just preparing that, waiting, doing it ahead of time. So this is the request. Let me read it to you. City of Norwich from Block Janney and Sicily LLC, attention Deanna Rhodes regarding Norwich Community Development Corporation, subdivision 437, Dear Miss Rhodes, on January 25th, 2024, the CCP voted to approve the above referenced subdivision with the number of conditions. The approval was published January 30th, 2024. On March 18th, 2024, NCDC requested an extension of the 90-day period to file the subdivision plan and comply with the conditions of approval. The CCP granted that request at said meeting on March 19th, 2024, with the 90-day extension expiring July 31st, 2024. While NCDC has been working diligently to comply with the conditions of approval, NCDC will not have all of the conditions of approval accomplished and have the Mylar signed and filed within the 90-day extension previously granted by the CCP. Connecticut General Statutes 825 and subdivision regulations allow for a second 90-day period to file the subdivision plan and comply with the conditions of approval as a matter of right. Therefore, NCDC requests that the commission extend the time for accomplishing all of the conditions of approval and filing of the Mylars for an additional period of 90 days from July 31st, 2024, as permitted by statute and regulation. Please advise when this request will be brought before the commission, which is tonight. And thank you, that's Mark Block. So the extension would go to October 29th would be the final. So
this is the second and last.
yep. So a motion to for an extension for subdivision to meet all the conditions for subdivision 437.
Somebody want to make a motion?
This is Ella. I'll make that motion.
Okay, thank you. Second,
Second?
Jim just raised his
I'll
hand.
second.
Jim,
Okay,
any discussion?
Could you, what were the streets again? Lawler Lane.
it's 145 Tapalaco Road, 432 Canterbury Turnpike, and 180 Lava Lane. Those were the major addresses of the property.
Industrial Park North, right?
So
Is that
Ella,
right?
so we have a first by Ella, yep, second by Jim Porto.
End of discussion? All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
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 And extensions? Nays?
Okay, so that was unanimous for the
Unanimous.
extension, and I'm gonna say October, put that to October 29th, so we'll
Yeah.
clarify till the 24th. All right, thank you for doing that.
Bond reduction and release request?
Nope, done.
None.
Other,
Business staff report?
yes, a couple of things. So reminding you that the June 18th meeting was canceled because Dan and I had a conflict to another meeting for the Main Street. So we have set a special meeting date for June 25th. Kathy, is that gonna conflict with you, with your board, June 25th?
Is it the 4th Tuesday of the month?
Yes,
Yeah, that would conflict.
all right. So, but that was the date we discussed. We haven't done anything with it. I haven't followed the agendas, so if we wanted to do the 25th. But that's gonna have there's 2 schools on there, so they don't wanna cancel June. They really want to go forward. Kathy, do you?
Can we make it on Wednesday instead of Tuesday? Because I would like to be there for that.
Is that an issue for this commission? So you have to look at your calendar. Could you do Wednesday, the 26th? I'm gonna look at my calendar.
At what time?
That would be the same time, 7, yeah,
okay.
so hold
Day
on.
earlier on,
So it would be a day later, so hold on, let me look at June.
that's right, day
We
later.
do June 20, let me hear. We
26th.
normally did June 25th, so then June 26th,
Six.
let me see what's on here.
Or day later?
Yeah, so you'd prefer to do Wednesday, June 26th, right?
Yeah.
Or we could do it the week before too, right? I mean,
Or the one that's the problem. The
Yeah.
week
okay,
before is-
okay, never mind. That's
Yeah.
fine.
And we haven't really done all the, it's all been big with the school, so it's a big review, so it would be good if we kept it. So Wednesday, June 26th, I'm gonna try to get
Yeah.
room 335 for that because it's bigger. And this is the other question. There's other applications that want to meet the deadline to come in for the June meeting. How do you feel about having anything else on that meeting besides the schools? It's up to the
Two
commission.
schools. You know,
Well,
as far as timing.
Well,
is it gonna be a
I don't know
non-item?
how many people are gonna be interested in the public hearings, and so that's the thing is if there's a lot of interest, I would rather, put them to the July meeting, but they're asking, is one of them, that's tentatively a school that's a special school that wants to go up in the business park that wants to go through the approval process so they could be open in the fall, so jumping them to July
Yeah.
pushes them out later. So I don't wanna push, I wanna find out what you're comfortable with. Do we
Well,
start the
I think
meeting
we should-
earlier than 7?
I think we certainly want to accommodate people as best we can, if feasible.
Okay,
Earlier, is that an option for people?
I could do 6.
Fine for me.
you could do.
Ella, how you?
Yep, I get off of work at 5, so I can do 6.
So if we did Wednesday, the 26th, starting at 6 PM, that would give us some more times for some other applications that might come in. There might potentially be that one and one other one. But we don't know how ready they are, and I don't know until they submit.
Okay.
So, and it doesn't mean if the night's going on longer that you can make a decision to table it, you have a right to do that. But, okay, so the 26th is a Wednesday, we're gonna do it starting 6 PM that week.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good, so that's one thing. Other thing I want to talk about, we are going to be hiring SLR again, who worked on our plan of conservation and development to work on the zoning regulations. So, they will not be necessarily working with you directly because the council is the zoning authority. But you will be getting a referral as time goes on, so we will be keeping you in the loop on the zoning regulations, but Dan and I will be working probably with small groups of the council at a time, 2 or 3 members, not a forum, to get them to meet with us so we can get their feedback. I'm afraid that if we don't meet with them consistently through the process, when it comes to them, that'll become very political in the sense of that if we don't like something, they'll just suck that section out. And we don't want to spend all this time working on something that gets, little cherry picked. And that's sort of what happened, I understand, for the 2015 regulations, because we have sections with no zones and zones with no sections. And so things like that they were just left in there and as placeholders. And Jason Vincent, who had worked on them when I first started, came to see me right away and sort of apologized and said they didn't like certain things and they just pulled it out. And I don't want to have that kind of regulations that are like that. So I would rather work with them along the way and get them in a comfortable spot. So just wanting to let you know, I think it's really exciting that we'll be using SLR because they just worked on our plan. So it's going to be seamless of what we want because they know what we wanted in the plan. So that'll be good.
So the total review of zoning, what's actually gonna take place?
Excuse me,
What are they gonna actually be doing?
the whole regs are being redone.
Okay.
So we're gonna,
I think
yeah.
you mentioned it before, but.
Yep, it's soup to nuts because the plan changed, so you really need to look at your regs again.
Yep.
So we want to adopt some of the sustainable things that were in the regulations and just other, other ways that we can look at zoning. I think it's gonna be a very open process, so there'll be public meetings that you absolutely can go to as individuals, and will come and do updates with you guys as well too. Along the way, because the commission will have to get that referral from the council, so we want you to be up to date on everything. So, but we're really excited, Dan and I, that SLR is doing it. The money is coming out of this year's budget. I had money left in this year's budget for professional services, but we weren't gonna get probably funded next year, so we're able to encumber that and use it. So I'm happy that we're able to do that. Yeah,
I have a question.
yeah.
So are they gonna do it in sections, like the residential sections first, the commercial sections, the industrial sections, then the special exceptions and things
We
like that? How
haven't-
are they gonna do?
We haven't even had that conversation yet because we just last Friday was the date that the proposals were due in. And I'll be honest with you, we got one proposal because we have a cap at $60,000. So we got one and it was SLR and they know Dan and I are doing all the public information meetings, so they don't have to do any of those, so they don't have to go that, so we're gonna do all that public vetting. So they were able, and they wanted to work with us again, because it was a good thing for them, so. But, so we just decided they were who we wanted probably anyways, we would probably, and they were the only ones, so that was Friday, we haven't even had the first discussions with them yet, Kath.
All right, so, but what I would like is, as you're having these little meetings with the council on the sections, whatever, I mean, if we could also get copies of them so we can be more familiar about what is going on rather than getting a big package at the end.
Absolutely, I think, yeah, because even though they're the ones that are gonna be, let's put it this way, they're the ones gonna be adopting them, but they're not the ones that's gonna be using them, you know what I mean?
Right,
And so-
exactly.
So, yeah, you'll definitely be, and Rich being the zoning officer here, he'll get those as we're going along too. We have a lot of internal comments that we've had for, since with the regs, we have notes, I have a whole separate book that just has over of things that need to be changed, so.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
that's-
if we could get sections as you go along with the
Yep.
council, you give them to the council and also give them to us simultaneously so we can take a look at it. And even when the council is reviewing them, if we could review them and give them our comments, so they know upfront how we feel about them, because like you said, we're the ones that are gonna enforce them.
Well,
And
at least give
so,
them to Dan and at least give them to Dan and myself, and then we'll have those conversations with them, and say, hey, we've got these comments from the commission, and we're gonna want you to be happy too. So Dan and I will be the intermediate. We're not gonna pass regs that we think are gonna be problematic for the commission as well, so we'll be there. Helping.
yeah, and we want, I mean, for me, I would like to continually know, just because
Yeah.
then we understand at the end what we have.
So the goal is 10 months for the process. We're thinking next April or May, being able to have the council adopt them. So once we sign the contract, we need to do that before this end of this fiscal year, and then we're gonna dive into it. But like I said, we haven't even talked about the format, but anything of what order we're doing things in,
That's
okay?
a,
Okay,
that's a feasible time frame.
10 months, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So it's really good because like I said, we can almost take stuff right out of the POCD and convert that into regulations. It's so much easier when they've worked on it, it just,
Is there a hard deadline so much, or
no,
does that?
no, it just,
Think it will-
you wanna make you want your regs to be consistent with your plan of conservation, so they're not gonna wanna drag it on for 2
Exactly,
years, cause
yeah.
they're only making, a certain amount of money on it, so 10 months is the goal.
Okay.
Okay. I'm trying to think of data, so I just wanna reiterate, we're gonna do Wednesday, the 26th at 6 p.m. We're gonna have the 2 schools and whatever applications come in, and we're gonna start earlier, and,
335.
and yep, and I'm gonna get 335 if I can.
It's in this building?
No, that's the, City Hall,
Oh, City Hall.
across, not where the chambers are, but down the hall. It'll be on the agenda, I'll make sure, it's gonna be a special meeting anyway, so I'll highlight it and we'll have it also virtual, so. I think that's it for me, if you guys have any questions. Oh, so June 5th is I should tell you this, June 5th is the meeting, the last public information meeting about our mobility study. So if you haven't been involved in that, you should come, and that will be in the City Hall, room 335 on June 5th, which is a Wednesday. And 5 to 7, there'll be pizza there, and they'll be presenting some of the ideas that they already presented to the council about changing some of the transportation network downtown. And this again is just ideas and the planning of it, and then hopefully it gets adopted, then we can go towards funding.
What time does that start at?
5 o'clock, 5 to 7 on June 5th. And Dan and I went about a couple of weeks ago, we did a walk around downtown. We were in different groups and talked to businesses, talked to people on the streets, talked to whoever different stopped in, talked to Joe Courtney's office about the plan, gave them the information about the June 5th, and then talked about the layouts of what's going on. And it was very successful. The COG sent some transportation planners, and we just kind of went around and we took different sections of roads and handled it. And it was I think it went really well.
Good.
Only one person kicked me out of their office because they thought I was selling something. I'm not selling anything, I swear. I guess we look like Tupperware. All right,
Yeah.
that's it.
That's it.
I have a question.
Yep,
Sure.
What is, I just don't know what it is. What is that big building going, being built by Walmart? I
that's
don't
the
remember
storage
that.
facility that you guys approved.
Yeah, that's.
What was it?
A storage facility, a big storage facility, you guys.
I don't remember that. Was hopefully I wasn't at
You were
that
on the
meeting.
commission. I don't know if you were there then. Maybe you weren't there.
Hopefully I
that
wasn't
day.
at
I
that
don't know.
meeting.
Yep, and,
Is that access from 82 or also from the back?
Oh,
both,
Both
but
sides?
it's a one, and coming from the back, it's a one-way out.
Is that where Johnson Sand and Gravel was?
No, this is right next
Right between
to,
the credit union and the
and
parking
Walmart
lot.
parking
entrance to
lot.
Walmart.
Oh, okay.
right there.
oh, you know what, Deanna? I do remember that.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was
But I
the car?
just, I was
Oh, it
that,
has that, the move-in storage, and it has the big cow thing, which is not my favorite.
It's not a car wash.
Yeah, not a car wash. All right,
Is that a elevator shaft?
I did
They
that.
put in that building?
there is an elevator in that building to go up and down, yeah. So I guess the last thing is just adjournment, Chair.
Yes. Any motion for adjournment?
Oh.
Okay, Nick did.
Nick, second.
I'll second.
Ellen
Thanks.
seconds. All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.